Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Men Save Your Marriage show. My name is Terry. I'm your host. I did an autopsy on my failed marriage, and now I use the lessons that I learned to coach other men on how to save their marriage before it fails. I'm going to share with you the things I wish someone would have shared with me before my marriage failed. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, gentlemen, and welcome in. You heard the bell. You know what that means. That means that we are in the ring to fight, not to fight each other, but to fight together for your marriage. Welcome back. This is episode 72. We're continuing on in our series on the war against fear. If you've listened this far, especially in this series, but if you've listened this far, you already know what's happening inside of you. You're waking up, you're facing fear, you're starting to move. These are the things we've been going through recently and dealing with and talking about. But there's something that still stops most men cold, dead in their tracks. Something that makes even the strongest men retreat back into silence. In a single word, it is conflict. You hate it, don't you? You avoid it. You convince yourself that avoiding conflict keeps peace in your marriage. But you know, if we're truly honest, you know that it doesn't. You're not keeping peace. You're keeping distance. This episode is about that lie. The lie that silence equals peace. The lie that avoiding tension will somehow make things better. Because the truth is, it won't. You have to understand conflict is not your enemy. Conflict is your opportunity. Because when it's handled right, conflict creates clarity. It creates respect and it creates connection. If there's anything that I could pound into the head of men today, it is this. We are avoiding conflict, hoping to keep the peace, and we are destroying our marriages. Again, handled properly, conflict creates clarity, respect, and connection. But if you avoid it, it destroys all three. There is something deep inside of us as men, and we know this, but men were built to face pressure. You were built to lead through friction and not run from it. Your marriage will not die from too much conflict, but it will die from too little truth. And in avoiding conflict, you are avoiding truth. So we're going to talk about it, how conflict works, why it matters, and what happens when you face it like a leader instead of avoiding it. As always, I've got 3 primary points, and we're going to begin with point number 1. Avoidance breeds contempt. You think that staying quiet makes you the bigger man. It doesn't. It makes you invisible. And listen, let me pause here briefly and say, more than likely, you've never heard the things that I am saying to you now and that I am about to say to you. Nobody in our society today is saying these things, and men need to hear them. Staying quiet makes you invisible. Every time you avoid conflict, you trade short-term comfort for long-term damage. Here's what happens when you choose silence. You don't address her tone when she disrespects you. You just let it slide. You tell yourself, it's really not worth the fight. You avoid the hard talk about money or intimacy or priorities because you don't want to argue. Maybe you stop asking for what you need. You stop correcting what is wrong, and you stop asserting boundaries. You think that you are keeping the peace, but what you're really doing is killing her respect for you. A woman does not want a man who agrees with everything she says. She wants a man strong enough to hold his ground. Every time you back down, she loses a little more confidence in your leadership. She's starting to think If he won't stand up to me, how can he stand up for me? Now, you tell yourself you're avoiding conflict to save the marriage, but what you're really doing is making her feel alone. And contempt, the contempt that she may be feeling, it grows in that silence that you are allowing. Every unspoken frustration builds distance. Every avoided issue adds weight. Until one day you wake up and realize the tension has turned into apathy. You're no longer fighting for each other. You're just existing beside each other. Avoidance never brings peace. It only delays war. Let me say that again. Avoidance never brings peace. It only delays war. And I know you're not hearing this anywhere in our society today, but I promise you, this is why the epidemic of failed marriages we have is because men have decided to go silent, and all they're doing is delaying war. And by the time that war explodes, it's far worse than it ever had to be. You see, real peace doesn't come from silence. It comes from clarity, and clarity only comes through conflict. All right, point 2. Conflict builds clarity. You see, conflict, when handled right, it's not destruction. It is refinement. It reveals truth. It exposes lies. It clears the fog. Every strong marriage has conflict. The difference is how it's handled. Weak men argue to win. Strong men engage to understand. You don't enter conflict to dominate your wife. You enter it to bring truth to the surface, because truth is where respect lives. When you speak the truth calmly and directly and without fear, you create safety. Not comfort, but safety. She may get loud. She may get emotional. She may test your resolve at times. Don't match her emotion. Don't retreat. And don't attack. You've heard me say this before. In this moment, you hold your frame. You speak clearly and you stay grounded. You say what needs to be said and then you stop talking. Your presence in that moment will communicate more than words to her. You see, clarity doesn't always feel good. It often hurts, but clarity always heals. Think about this for just a moment. When you finally admit where you failed, clarity happens. When you stop defending yourself and take responsibility, clarity happens. When you stop lying about being fine, clarity happens. When you calmly call out disrespect, clarity happens. You hear me say at the beginning of every episode that I did an autopsy on my failed marriage, and I am trying to teach you the things I didn't know then. Gentlemen, I cannot stress this one enough. I avoided the conflict. I failed her. I let disrespect creep into her because I avoided the conflict. Conflict is the furnace that burns away pretense. You see, without it, you'll live years pretending things are fine while your marriage quietly decays and dies. Facing conflict is not aggression, it is leadership. Leaders walk into pressure because they know avoiding it only multiplies it later. Leaders know that avoiding pressure multiplies it later. And every great relationship, romantic, professional, spiritual, is built on the willingness to face friction. So stop running from conflict. And finally, gentlemen, point 3, conflict creates respect. Did you hear what I said? Conflict creates respect. Your wife doesn't respect you because you're nice. She respects you when you're strong. She may say she wants peace, but what she really wants is trust. And she can't trust a man who can't handle her emotions. Conflict is where she tests your strengths. She doesn't do it consciously, but every argument is a question. Can you stay calm when I'm emotional, is what she's asking you. Can you handle pressure without falling apart, is what she's asking you. Can I trust your leadership when things get hard, is what she's asking you. You see, when you react with anger, you fail the test. When you retreat into silence, you fail the test. And when you stay grounded, you pass the test. And that's where respect begins to rebuild. She may not like that you pushed back, but she'll respect it. She'll remember that you didn't flinch. She'll remember that you stayed in control. She knew she was pushing your buttons. She knew she was testing you. She knew she was leaning in just a little too much, and yet you maintained control. Over time, that creates safety for her. You see, conflict that is handled with a calm authority proves your strength. When you can disagree without rage, confront without cruelty, and lead without retreating, you are reminding her that you're a man that she can safely follow. Respect is not built in comfort, gentlemen. It is built in conflict. So I have to ask, what have you been avoiding? You've been told your whole life that conflict is bad, that arguments mean something's wrong, and that is wrong. Arguments mean that you still care. They mean you're still engaged. They mean you're still fighting for something that matters. The real danger is not conflict, it is apathy. It's when neither of you cares enough to fight anymore. Conflict brings truth to the surface. Truth brings healing. You will never have peace until you're willing to face discomfort. So stop avoiding it. Stop withdrawing. Stop playing the victim. Conflict is not your enemy. It truly is your ally. So face it, lead through it, and you will earn back the respect you lost by avoiding it. And as we wrap up with this episode, here are some marching orders I want you to take with you into your day as you finish up listening to this episode. And your orders today is simple. Face one thing that you've been avoiding. You know what it is. It's been sitting in the back of your mind for months. Maybe it's the way that she talks to you. Maybe it's the distance in your home, or it's the financial chaos that may be going on, or the lack of intimacy. Pick one. Don't write it down. Don't plan it. Don't analyze it. I want you to bring it up calmly, clearly, and directly. You need to be absolutely certain. You need to maintain your frame. You need to be the calm, reserved, in control leader that she is desperately looking for. You need to look her into the eye, look into her eye and say what needs to be said. You are not starting a fight. You are reclaiming your leadership. Let me say that again. Everything that you've been avoiding, you think that it needs to be, now you think you're picking fights. You're not. Stepping into the conflict, dealing with what needs to be dealt with is how you reclaim your leadership. And if you do this, if you've got the guts to actually stand up and be the man that you were created to be and lead her with calm strength, maintain your frame, be the anchor and the rock that she needs, if you can do that, then I want you to text me. And all I want you to say is, I faced it. You can text me. The number is in the show notes, but it is 812-648-3380. And just say, hey, Terry, I faced it. That's how I'll know you're done running. That's how I'll know you are prepared to stand. Stand in the midst of conflict and be the calm leader that she is looking for. You want to earn your respect back? You will never do it by avoiding the fight. You will never do it by avoiding the conflict. This is how you earn back her respect. This is how you lead, and this is how you save your marriage. Conflict is not your enemy, gentlemen. Fear is. So today, my challenge to you, my question to you is, do you have the guts to face it? That's it for today, gentlemen. I want to thank you very much for being here, for listening. I look forward to hearing from you as you face your conflict, and I look forward to sharing with you in the next episode. In the meantime, take this into your day and understand there is a path for you to regain your respect, her respect for you, regain your leadership, and to save your marriage. It's time to face the conflict, gentlemen. Have a great day. I will see you soon.